Family tonight.
Plus, the new poll shows the Chicago mayor's race is a dead heat tonight. We hear from both candidates on the topic regarding education.
A bit later, a former gang member now works to increase the peace, and he's sharing his story with us.
But we begin tonight with the school shooting in Nashville and the new information we have learned today.
Tonight, we're seeing pictures of some of the victims. Their 9-year-old Evelyn Dykhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney, as well as substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, custodian Mike Hill, and head of the school, Catherine Kuntz.
Authorities say the 28-year-old Audrey Hale was a former student at Covenant Christian Elementary School, and tonight we have learned that one of the two officers who stopped the shooter is from Chicago. The I-Team speaking to the family of Officer Rex Engelbert, and investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy tonight with the latest.
Tonight, the I-Team inside a story of heartache and heroism. A Chicago native locked and loaded as he is on the first tactical team to arrive on an active shooter call. Late morning, Officer Rex Engelbert grabs his rifle and immediately enters Nashville's Covenant School.
Let's go!
This is Engelbert's body-worn camera. He's moving into the school as security sirens blare. A lockdown is underway. Shots have already been fired by an intruder with 3 guns and a supply of ammo. On the second floor, Engelbert, part of a 5-officer team that quickly confronts the shooter and stops the attack. The Nashville officer had only been on the job here 4 years, hired fresh out of University of Dayton after graduating high school from Loyola Academy in north suburban Wilmette. His primary school, the Catholic Queen of All Saints in Chicago, posting a tribute to Engelbert and his Nashville teammate officer Michael Colazzo. The I-Team today with his brother, one of 5 siblings raised in Chicago's Jefferson Park neighborhood.
Was your first thought, I hope my brother is there because he knows what he's doing, or I hope he's not there because it's so dangerous?
The selfish part of me, of course, thinks I hope my brother is not there. The practical part of me thinks and has confidence in that if my brother was there, he would be able to. He would his training and his fortitude would be forthcoming.
Kevin Engelbert says he talked with his younger brother yesterday, and in a humble moment, his brother never mentioned that he was one of the 2 officers who had ended the rampage. Today, Officer Engelbert also received a call from the president.
To the police chief, I spoke to the 2 officers who went in and saved the lives.
He said he couldn't give any details besides that he was involved in the shooting and that he's okay and that he's going to have 2 days off, and he is glad to have them.
The Nashville officer from Chicago doesn't come from a law enforcement family and went to work in the South because his fiancée works there as a teacher in a different Christian school. Tonight, his mother back here in Jefferson Park doing what mothers do. Her nerves on edge, according to son Kevin, happy her police officer son is okay, devastated about the entire tragedy of the event. Chuck Gowdy, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Talk about being a hero, Chuck. What a powerful interview. Thank you. It is hard to think about it, but the school shooting does bring to the forefront once again the importance of preparing and training students and staff members when life-saving measures will be needed. Well, today, Lurie Children's Hospital hosted a Safety Day assembly at Bloom High School in Chicago Heights, where students learned how to render aid like stopping bleeding and CPR.
Kind of disheartens, and it kind of makes you feel a bit uneasy, walking down the hallways, never knowing.
Absolutely, and school officials interested in this training are encouraged to contact Lurie Children's Hospital. And a reminder, everybody, in between newscasts, you can always find updates on the Nashville investigation. Just go to ABC7Chicago.com.
Let's move to our weather. We had 50s today and sunshine, and take a look at that. The golden hour showing another nice sunset. We got a little bit of everything coming, though, Cheryl, like everything.
I know. Say it isn't snow.
And then rain.
You want a little of something, you got it.
And then 60s, and then maybe some more rain. It's a lot to sort through.
Opening day Thursday, right?
Right.
Opening day
yeah,
Thursday.
Opening day
Cheryl,
Thursday.
what's going to happen in 2 days?
A lot of
Should we bring an
changes on
umbrella,
the
a
way.
suitcase, a coat,
Layer up
boots?
at Wrigley always.
A lot of layers, a puffy coat, earmuffs, just you got to cover the extremities. It's going to be a cold one, especially along the lakefront. But inland spots, you'll get to near average. Satellite and radar showing a few passing showers that moved through earlier. Now our attention up to the north with a front that's going to drop in, and this is going to provide us with a quick round of some snow shower activity as we go through the night. You can see it close to about 8 a.m. here, that band entering our northern counties, temps here in the 30s. This is going to be quick hitting, but for a brief period of time, the snow could come down fast and heavy enough to reduce visibility and bring a little bit of a coating to area roads, streets, especially untreated surfaces and grassy surfaces. It does begin to dissipate as it moves off to the south, and it's out of here by 1-2 in the afternoon. Not going to be a big snowmaker for us, but it is hitting during the morning commute, and then temperatures only making it into the upper 30s, low 40s. In terms of how much snow to expect, not a lot, a few tenths of an inch up to a half an inch max in a few isolated spots, mainly on those untreated grassy surfaces. And then big changes for late week. We'll talk about the Cubs home opener and a severe weather threat potential on Friday with a rain snow threat into the weekend. Guys, we are truly all over the place this week.
A little something for everybody,
Yeah.
Cheryl. Thank you. The two candidates for Chicago mayor facing off in a debate tonight. This event focusing on key issues impacting African Americans here in Chicago. It marked a chance for the voters to hear from the candidates with the runoff election just 1 week away. Now, a new poll in the race for Chicago mayor shows that the candidates are in a dead heat, and it also shows that Paul Vallas and Brandon Johnson tied with 44% of the vote. The poll conducted by Northwestern University's Center for the Study of Diversity and Democracy. It also indicates 12% are still undecided. And when it comes to key issues, Brandon Johnson and Paul Vallas has some very different views on how to lead the city.
And one issue driving candidates to the polls, education. Sarah Schulte takes a deeper look at the topic.
Education is one issue both candidates have in common, however, from very different sides and views of it. Paul Vallas's background is managing large urban school districts. Brandon Johnson was a former teacher and Chicago Teachers Union organizer. Jenner Academy of the Arts, near the now gone Cabrini Green Public Housing Complex, is where Brandon Johnson taught for 5 years. It is a school Paul Vallas likes to remind people he built while serving as CEO of Chicago Public Schools.
So we have labor versus management, essentially.
A stark contrast between the two men who want to be Chicago's next mayor, which means overseeing the nation's fourth largest school district. A new designation after enrollment dropped by 150,000 students during the past 10 years, a big decline recently.
Since 2019, the district has lost 11% of its population.
We have to think more broadly about what public education means.
Johnson's plan for education mirrors what the Chicago Teachers Union has been pushing for in the last decade. More social workers, nurses, counselors, affordable housing, support for students outside the classroom.
That's why I've proposed childcare for all. That's why I've also proposed that community colleges should be free for Chicago Public School students.
With no plan to pay for it, Johnson hopes the state will foot the bill. Vallas says his plan is to make schools into community hubs.
The campuses are there, the gyms are there, the athletic fields are there. Keep these campuses open through the dinner on weekends.
Both men have different ideas on district finances. Vallas says he will increase the amount of money that goes directly to the classroom by cutting waste.
There's no reason why we can't take this budget and we can't significantly downsize the central office.
Johnson says it's time to fund schools based on need and not on enrollment.
By embracing the funding formula that I helped organize to change and shift in Springfield, Chicago Public Schools would receive $1 billion additional dollars.
The next mayor's first term will include negotiating a new contract with the Chicago Teachers Union. For the past decade, Johnson has been a paid organizer for the CTU, supporting strikes and COVID school closures.
Do you want the Chicago Teachers Union to run the school district? Or for that matter, do you want the Chicago Teachers Union leadership to run the city?
The people of Chicago run the city of Chicago. There's no reason to be afraid of kindergarten teachers or crossing guards.
And it will be the first time a mayor will work with an elected school board.
The good news is that whoever is elected will know the school system very intimately. They know a lot about education.
The school board will transition into an elected one in 2025, the same year the moratorium on school closures ends. Vallas nor Johnson are making any commitments not to close under-enrolled schools. Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks to Sarah, we're looking forward to several more of her reports as we get closer to what you're looking at on your screen. Be sure to watch next Tuesday night. It's a week away, Cheryl, as we bring you results from the runoff election. Live coverage starts at 7 right here where you're watching us, or at ABC7Chicago.com, wherever you're streaming. We'll have live updates on Channel 7 throughout the night with full coverage on Eyewitness News at 10. We're getting pretty good at this.
We'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night. We'll have our help.
For you.
Judy and Revy will help us as well. We'll have our guests, our panel. It was terrific last time to have so much help. Michelle helped produce, who always does this show. And we really covered a lot.
We have excellent analysts that will be our bookends, of course, giving us great information.
Right.
Laura, Mr. Greising, of course.
Yes, and the reporters out in the field will be covering it, because there are a lot of automatic races, obviously,
that are very close.
Very.
And very important, too. I mean, and history making.
Yeah. So you can get a cup of coffee if you want, perhaps an adult beverage, whatever you want on election
night. It's election night. Anything but for grabs, right?
For sure, right.
All right, there is other news tonight because it's a story that's new at 7. The Hazel Crest School District holding a safety meeting at this hour following several recent crimes in the community that have impacted students and staff members. The forum is happening at the Jesse White Learning Center Academy. Well, earlier this month, police releasing video of shots fired next to a police squad car about 1.5 miles away from the school. And then back in January, shots were also fired at a group of cheerleaders as they walked home from a basketball game. No one was hurt, and the school district is calling on for more support from the village of Hazel Crest.
Investigators in Palatine say a fire at a condominium complex earlier this month started on accident. Investigators determined that fire at Windhaven Condominium Complex was likely started by improper disposal of smoking materials. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but 22 residential units were damaged. Look at that. It forced dozens of people out of their homes.
And a CTA worker appearing in court today charged in the beating of a man who was found dead at the LaSalle Street Blue Line station. Emmett Richardson is being held on a $3 million bond. Investigators say a camera recorded him beating the victim on the platform and then throwing him down a flight of stairs on Saturday. Prosecutors say Richardson called 911 but reported the man had overdosed. Police say no drug paraphernalia was found, but the victim later died.
R. Kelly's lawyer going public with complaints about the health care the convicted R&B star is being given inside Chicago's Metropolitan Correctional Center. Jennifer Bongine says Kelly recently had surgery on his Achilles, and last week it was discovered that he was suffering from blood clots. Bongine says that's due to negligent care provided by the Bureau of Prisons. Kelly's currently serving a more than 20-year prison sentence for sex crime convictions in Chicago and New York. We've reached out to the Bureau of Prisons for comment.
And today in the corruption trial of the so-called ComEd 4, the court today hearing secretly recorded conversations between a ComEd executive and a Springfield political operative, a close ally of former House Speaker Michael Madigan. Michelle Gallardo tonight sharing today's testimony.
Prosecutors played several undercover videotaped meetings between their star witness and the defendants today as the government attempts to make its case against the so-called ComEd 4. The bribery allegations including everything from the hiring of Mike Madigan's political cronies to underqualified summer interns hailing from the former speaker's 13th ward. By the spring of 2018, ComEd is, according to prosecutors, paying 5 of Mike Madigan's political associates a combined $348,000 a year to do little to no work jobs. On May the 16th, with the FBI listening in, ComEd executive Fidel Marquez asks Madigan confidant / lobbyist Michael McLean what to pay former 23rd Ward Alderman Mike Zalewski.
Did you get my message?
That you want to talk about Zalewski?
Yeah. So Ann mentioned your conversation with her about Mike. What were you thinking, numbers-wise? Was there
5?
It was, according to Marquez, the playing of calls such as this one that in January of 2019 turned him into the government's informant as they tried to build a bribery case against the utility company and the now so-called ComEd 4. Don't put anything in writing, advised Mike McLean between bites of pizza at a meeting in Springfield a few weeks later. Marquez was videotaping the lunch as he did separate meetings and calls over the coming days and weeks with defendants Ann Pramaggiore, John Hooker, and Jay Doherty. Meetings during which, at the direction of the FBI, he expresses his concern about how to justify the money being paid to the subcontractors to the company's new CEO, Joe Dominguez. Do they do anything for me on a day-to-day basis? No, says Jay Doherty during a February the 13th meeting, adding, my bottom line advice would be if it ain't broke, don't fix it with those guys. Doherty goes on to tell Marquez to remind the new CEO that their money comes from Springfield. By March, the subcontractor budget had been approved. The trial adjourned today with Fidel Marquez still on the stand. He is expected to return for a third straight day when the trial resumes tomorrow morning. At the Dirksen Federal Building, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Former Vice President Mike Pence must testify in the federal probe into former President Donald Trump's actions ahead of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Both Trump and Pence challenged a grand jury subpoena from the special counsel. The judge ruled Pence must provide testimony.
And tonight we're hearing from a Good Samaritan who rushed towards a tragic crash on the Stevenson Expressway. 2 people were killed when a car lost control, then flipped on an embankment and burst into flames. A bystander recorded this video that you're going to see in a moment of the vehicle on fire last night near Cicero Avenue. James Etienne is an emergency medical technician by trade. He was one of the many Good Samaritans who tried to help the victims. The driver was thrown from a vehicle. A passenger was trapped inside.
Dozens of people were scurrying around with bottles of water, trying to pour it on the car. Other people were trying to pry the doors open.
Wow. Well, the 2 people inside that car died. A person in another car was also critically injured.
Special delivery for a Blue Island mother and her son after his custom wheelchair was stolen. Last week, thieves got away with Alicia Rodriguez's car, which contained the wheelchair and a car seat. Investigators found the damaged car dumped in Chicago, and today police returned the wheelchair and the rest of the medical equipment to Rodriguez and her 15-year-old son, Aiden. Good Samaritan offered to pay to fix her car.
It means a lot, knowing that there are good people out there. They have good, big hearts.
Blue Island police say they are continuing to work the case, hope to make an arrest soon, so perhaps positive end to a pretty traumatic story for that family.
Look at the smile on his face to return all of his equipment.
Get what is his.
So proud. Such a pride moment there.
Good team effort from Blue Island Police with CPD.
Great job. We're so glad we had this update and we could share it with you. There are good people, like she said. Well, but then in this case.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, John Hancock strikes again. Just ahead, Jason Knowles and the I-Team have the very latest on a man accused of scamming local businesses.
The guy's name is literally John Hancock. Yeah. But first, a survivor of devastating Mississippi tornadoes shares her fears for her community. President Biden says he plans to visit Mississippi following those devastating tornadoes this week. FEMA's on the ground. It says it will take the town of Rolling Fork years to recover from the EF4 tornado. Kayla Clark took cover in her closet when the tornado hit. When she came back out, she says it looked like her home had exploded.
At night, I hear the people off the highway screaming for help. And when I close my eyes, I see this. I don't know the streets I'm on. It's undescribable.
People who survived saw unimaginable things. She's staying with family but worries about her neighbors. She says the groups in the area give her hope, those groups that are helping, because there are a lot of them down there.
These incredible stories of survival, where these people stayed during this horrific weather. I mean,
and some stayed, they tried to take cover and just didn't matter. EF4 is a monster.
Right. It was, and some people over here, their house was this way, and just about 100 feet away, something totally different. The way these tornadoes take route.
And lost their lives. That thing was on the ground for more than 100 miles. Wow. It was horrible.
Oh.
It was horrible. Let's check our forecast, though. Oh, is that Wrigley?
Yeah, because in 48 hours, that's where everybody could be. If it's a night game, it's probably an afternoon game.
Yeah, it's
afternoon. Yeah, 117 or something like that.
Depending if they win, they might all still be in Wrigleyville.
Yeah, well, they will be, because it's
warming
a Thursday.
Up. Yeah.
Thursday's the new Friday. And if they win, it's a new season.
Yeah, it's probably a 120 first pitch. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
120. All right. So yeah.
Expectations are low.
Oh no, mine are high.
Are they? Shoot.
It's always next year.
Yeah. So the season's about to kick off, Cheryl, and it's going to feel like opening day for the Cubs, because it's
There's
usually
been worse.
That's true.
It's been snow. We might have some flakes, though. I don't know. You've been talking about snow coming.
There's the potential, but not like falling snow during the game. So.
Okay.
But the wind's going to be is it coming in off the
potential for rain?
It is
snow
cold.
shower.
I used to work there as a high school
well, the
student,
winds come in off.
And it's like
Lake
the wind will
Michigan.
be coming off the lake.
Under the shade too. If you're underneath, you know, and if you're in the shade, it's very cold.
I don't know if there'll be any sun though Thursday, will there?
There will be some sun on Thursday.
Oh, good. Okay.
First half of the day, we'll start off with sunshine, and then we'll get those gusty winds in from the south. So inland spots will get near 50. Unfortunately, Wrigley and downtown Chicago will stay in the 40s. Then we'll combine that with winds up to 30, 35 miles per hour.
Will
so
the whole
it'll feel
game
like
get
it's
in?
in the 30s. It's going to be a cold one.
Will the whole game get in though, Cheryl?
There could be a delay, but I
wow.
do see them getting the game in. But
Okay.
a passing shower cannot be ruled out later in the afternoon.
Okay.
All right, we'll cover it all.
Yeah, thanks. Good start.
Go for it.
There we go. Full breakdown. And then I believe the Sox home opener is Monday?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
guys-
the home
okay.
opener. I think they
The
play
home-
tomorrow. The home opener is next Monday, but they open tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah, in Houston, I think.
Home
Down
opener
at
Yes.
is
Sox
Monday.
Park.
I think Ryan Cheverini's going to be live there.
Yes.
He's going?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Hey, where you been?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Check in with your coworkers.
Seems like an eternity ago baseball was
They're
played.
going to have better weather, Cheryl, in Houston, no doubt.
Well, they're
Monday,
inside,
temps
too.
will be near 60.
Okay,
so
see?
warmer. However, there could be some rain, but we'll get to
Okay.
that in the forecast. Right now, we sit in the mid to upper 40s along the lakefront, near 40 degrees. That lake breeze, a factor always during this time of the year. Lake temperature close to 40. So when we have those winds off the lake, it brings the temperature down along the lakefront. Live Doppler 7 max right now. We're fairly quiet. Had a few passing showers earlier today. That's all rushing off to the south and east and dying out. But now our next disturbance up to the north and west, not looking like a whole lot. And it won't be. However, it will bring a narrow band of snow starting tomorrow morning between about 6 to 9 a.m. And there you can see that band of snow setting up. Temps in the 30s. It's going to be quick moving. However, we could get a brief round of a snow downpour or two that could reduce visibility. As we head throughout the morning, it continues to dive farther to the south with those snow showers beginning to taper. Not a whole lot to work with here. In and then out. By the afternoon, we dry out, not looking at a lot of snow, but there could be some slick spots out there for the morning commute. We're looking at a few tenths of an inch up to half an inch really max out of that system, mainly on untreated and grassy surfaces. Tomorrow, we start off chilly. A sign of winter holding on. As we head into the afternoon, we'll start to dry out and clear out. By Thursday, we're dry. Cubs home opener, temps up to 53 degrees. Along the lakefront at Wrigley, cooler. Showers developing later in the day. And then Friday, temperatures going up area-wide into the 60s. So here's a look at Wrigley as we go throughout the morning. We're going to start off cold. If you're heading out early, 20s, 30s into the afternoon, pausing this at 1:30 for first pitch. Around that time, 1:20, we're looking at those temps right near 40. Notice the winds gusty out of the south, southeast, 20, 25 miles per hour. So it's going to feel like it's in the 30s because those winds will be going strong out of the south. And you can see those temps holding steady in the low 40s throughout the game. Now our skies starting off dry, not looking at any problems for first pitch into the late afternoon, close to 4 or 5 o'clock. Passing showers not out of the question. A little bit of a rain snow mix there moving through. The bulk of that precipitation stays to the north. On Friday, we increase our rain chances. Scattered showers, isolated storm throughout the morning, 4 to about 8 a.m. Then we get a little bit of a break, but into the late afternoon and evening, another round of rain moving in. The potential for some embedded thunderstorms here, some of which could be strong. This is a dynamic, strong storm system moving in. There will be a severe weather threat potential here on our Friday. And then on the backside of this low, could be working with cold temperatures crashing in quickly. That a changeover, a transition over to some snow for early Saturday morning, not out of the question. But our focus really will be Friday afternoon and evening, because you can see we are in the zone for the potential of some strong to severe storms. This is the area where they're looking to develop. Obviously, this encompasses a large area, and this zone will shrink as we get closer to Friday, hopefully away from us. But with that said, we're in the zone right now, so we have to keep in mind some strong storms with all weather threats on the board. Tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail can't be ruled out in that zone. We're going to fine tune and tweak where those storms and that severe weather threat setup is as we go into the next 24 to 48 hours. Here at home tonight, we're cold, dropping to near freezing. Tomorrow, high 40, a.m. snow showers. Showers developing late in the day on Thursday, hopefully getting the game in. Bundle up if you're heading to Wrigley, near 50 inland. So go into Friday, rain and storms, the potential of severe weather. As we go into Saturday, rain and snow early, we dry out. Thankfully, next week into Sunday, we get those temps back above average. Mostly sunny on Sunday, looking gorgeous, near 60 spring-like weather as we go into next week, guys. I think I'm walking back. I don't know.
Sure, come on over.
Come on back. And Cheryl, my sister landed from Florida today. She lives down the street. She walks by and visits Rob all the time and waves. She said it's freezing because when she left this morning.
Oh, from Florida.
She said it's freezing right now.
Right.
It's
but
like
it was like
40.
85 when she left today.
I need to speak to her about your Star Search video.
Okay, go for it.
Oh,
She has it on VHS, stacks of it. My sister Shirley, which she has, It's a Wonderful Life. I hear the music.
Well, speaking of our past, we love to tell you things we didn't know.
Yes.
Well, we found something, Cheryl.
Yeah, about a Cheryl.
Yeah, one of you.
One Cheryl. Yeah. You hear the music?
If you missed the show last night, we spent a little time talking about Jeopardy, and we found this clip of Cheryl delivering a clue.
Let's go.
Let's listen in.
Proud moment.
Clues across America, 600.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Scott of ABC7. Chicago's skyline is a dramatic backdrop for the Lincoln Park Zoo, including a great view of this 100-story landmark named for a signer of the Declaration of Independence.
Anuj. Who is Hancock? Yes.
See?
What is the Sears Tower?
Yeah.
Right now.
What is Willett? Yeah.
That was when it was still Hancock.
It was still Hancock then.
You look the same.
That was so exciting.
The hair.
I mean, I love it. Do you remember, Cheryl, the experience and who shot it? And
oh my gosh, yes.
Did you
because
like your
I met
question?
Pat and Vanna as I was doing it, which was so cool because they were doing like a team shot in Chicago. I know, different show.
It was like a game show haven.
Yeah, so they were here shooting something, and then while that was happening, I got to shoot something for Jeopardy. A few of us here at ABC got to, which was so cool.
Not all of us.
Yeah,
and they went to
but
every market. So they did this not only
Yeah.
here, but in Philly and Los Angeles.
And Pat is from Chicago. Pat Sajak is from Chicago.
And he started off as
a meteorologist, right?
Yeah,
That was
right.
Pat Sajak, yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a little dude, isn't he? He's tiny? No.
So tiny. And
little fella.
Vanna's so tiny as well.
Little folks.
They've been together like 30 years or something.
It's going to be 40.
40. Okay, I was going to say 40, but I didn't want. That is amazing. But his daughter is what the social media expert on the show.
And she fills in for Vanna.
Right.
When now they don't turn. Remember when they would turn the letters? Now they just touch.
Right. And then they just.
So I think I might. So we taped some things for Wheel's 40th year. Were you here for that? No, it was just a couple weeks ago. I don't think.
Yeah, you special.
I know. I think I'm finally going to get in something.
Yeah,
because I did
so
it.
cool.
I wasn't on.
Can you give us any teaser?
It was
What'd
one of
you
those
say?
really dramatic.
What did you,
it's
like
hilarious.
you stood proud and everything?
Yeah, and then you turn. And then it was something like, congrats on 40 years from all of us here in Chicago.
Ooh.
Yeah, Pat and
Okay,
Van
wait,
or
can we all do
something.
it at the same time?
All
Then
right,
maybe-
so we have to do, because you know Maya Angelou said that's how you give your best.
Well, wait, what are
everything.
we saying?
Congrats on 40
Right.
Maybe they'll use
All right,
this.
right. So
Yeah.
So, Carlin, can you give
we're
us
going to think in our mind, 3, 2, 1, and then turn.
Okay. Ready? 3, 2,
Congrats on 40 years.
40 years.
This is why it's all scripted for us. It's all written in that computer.
I think that was fantastic.
I think it would work. Oh, you guys put up with us.
We
Thank
are
you.
so good and
production
talented.
team.
We're just
we
so
said
talented.
congrats. She's like, congratulations.
Just watch. It's coming up.
I
and
was singing it.
We all nailed it. We could say with confidence we all nailed
Okay,
it.
we could work on it, and maybe by the end of the show,
Get it
we'll do
done.
it
That's
at
how
the
we'll
top.
end it.
Okay, right.
We'll rehearse.
Right.
During the
All right.
commercial.
Well, I can read this. Michelle's telling us the tease. It's written very well. We're restoring a piece of history. The work done on a window at one local church. This is it's no ordinary window either.
Plus, Apple Pay Later. As people struggle with rising inflation, Apple is starting to roll out a new feature.
Good one, too.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Area business owners say they were conned.
Well, tonight the I-Team has an update on an accused scammer who was in court today on a new fraud charge. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles tonight with the latest.
His name is John Hancock, and yes, that's his real name. He got out of prison a year ago after facing several accusations of fraud in Chicago. Now he's being accused of theft in 3 suburbs. This is 39-year-old John Hancock. He's being arraigned in Markham on a new fraud charge. In November, Hancock was arrested for allegedly trying to buy $4,000 in products from this Markham plumbing supply company with a fraudulent credit card. During his arrest, he allegedly struck the police officer. And in Lake County, there's a felony warrant out for Hancock for theft and forgery. And in Wheaton,
We would like to put the word out that you have to be super careful.
Art and Joanna Wisniewski of Superb Carpets and Flooring say Hancock came into their store, also in November, and scammed them out of $36,000.
He wanted everything so fast. And it was like he was rushing everything.
They say Hancock was at their store on 5 occasions to buy flooring materials like this marble tile and hickory flooring.
He was asking if we have material in stock available because they're doing some rush projects.
Each time they say Hancock paid with a credit card or cashier's check using a different name.
After a few days, I saw on our bank account that one check is bouncing off. So then I figured, oh, we're in trouble.
The Wisniewskis say all of the checks bounced and the credit card charges reversed because the credit card company told them the card was stolen. Wheaton's deputy chief of police told the I-Team that the business owners identified Hancock in a police photo lineup. He has not been charged, but police say they are investigating the claim.
When we look on the video, we see the same person.
As the I-Team reported, Hancock spent 3 years in prison after pleading guilty in 2018 to theft when he deceptively obtained thousands of dollars worth of art from this Wicker Park gallery. He also pleaded guilty in 2014 to stealing IDs and forging credit cards to buy thousands of dollars worth of belts and shoes from Neiman Marcus, seen here on security video. Hancock pleaded not guilty on a Zoom hearing on that new fraud charge in Markham. I called Hancock's listed phone number and didn't hear back. We also reached out to his public defender, who declined comment. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. Buy now, pay later using Apple Pay. Apple announced a new option in its digital wallet today. Apple Pay Later lets you split payments into 4 installments, and you have 6 weeks to pay. Customers can apply for loans in the wallet app, ranging up to $1,000 with no interest or fees as you make online or in-app purchases. It's a pretty good deal for some people who want to spread out the payment.
Right. It's kind of like layaway. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Layaway, yeah.
You pay it down if you can, and you
Yeah.
can use that now, so it's new.
It's the only way we could get a lot of things growing up. You know.
Or you never went back and got it, too. That would stink. Your mom or dad would lay it away, and then you'd hope you get it. And then never went back. It's sad there.
How far we've come.
Right, yeah. A year-long restoration project now underway at a Chicago church on a century-old Tiffany window.
Wow. Well, today crews started removing the 121-year-old window at Second Presbyterian Church to be cleaned and restored. It will take workers at least 3 days to remove the thousands of panels and individual pieces of glass from the 16-foot high window. The window, called Mount of the Holy Cross, has been sitting in place for more than a century. What a project. It's beautiful already.
All of those windows are gorgeous, right?
What it's going to look like.
Exactly. Well, coming up, blending classical music with hip hop.
It is called the Black Violin Experience. And tonight, the musicians are talking about their inspiration and their upcoming show right here in Chicago. Wow.
All right, you come on out.
Awesome, thank you.
You say your name and count to 10 for a mic check, please.
Berto, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Black Violin is the creation of two artists who blend classical music with hip hop.
They're performing at House of Blues this weekend, and our Jose Sanders shows us why you'll want to be there.
Will Batiste and Kev Marcus were in the same high school music class. Will B started with strings, branching out to other instruments and vocals. Black Violin is what they've done with talent and enterprise.
You guys are classically trained, but based on being brought up in South Florida in the culture that we're in, sort of hip hop is in your DNA, right?
Absolutely. We were hip hop before we were classical. Hip hop is like that rebel, you know what I mean? That, the defiant kid on the corner. So, we're just regular kids. After second period, we're listening to Tupac, Biggie. We just happen to have these classes in high school playing Mozart, Beethoven,
How would you describe your sound, what you do today?
It's called classical boom, right? It's beautiful, beautiful strings and just a hard-hitting beat, you know, and that's a classic black violin sound. You see us on stage, two black guys playing the violin, you see the instrument, you know what I mean? And we are challenging the viewers and the listeners to think of this instrument a different way and also to think of a black man in a different way.
Did you ever dream of playing with people like Alicia Keys and having this much success?
I grew up like any other black kid, man. I grew up in the hood, just going to school, and I just so happened to have this class, you know what I'm saying? And that I had a really great teacher that motivated me and that told me, man, you can go to college, you can get a scholarship. And that was the difference, you know, and I didn't imagine this.
Black Violin has a foundation to give young artists opportunities.
If you can love what you do and at the same time, you know, inspire the next generation, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You want to hear something fresh and different, this is definitely the show for you. And it's a rock concert, right? Instead of guitars, you got violins, right? It's high energy, but also it's inspiring. That's the experience, the black violin experience. Just come out. You won't regret it.
Jose Sanders, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
It's such a unique blend of great music that those dudes have been working on since they were kids.
I know, and he said we were just kids after school listening to Tupac and Biggie, and then we would practice our chords.
Yeah.
Classic boom, never forget that.
And learned in school, too,
right.
all about music and
Right.
the greatness of
And
it.
how important is it to have music in classrooms now?
There's a lot
you
for
know?
a lot of reasons.
After school, I mean, and they're so talented. I mean,
might get you on stage.
I'm thinking like for young people, if they see that, they will want to play the violin because most young people like the guitar or the saxophone,
Well,
you
and
know, or
hear-
drums.
And then the violin, you don't hear it in that way
Right.
at all.
Right.
Very often.
And it's hard.
Oh
you know,
my gosh.
It's hard.
Incredible instrument to
you know.
play. You can see Black Violin. It's this Saturday night,
Okay.
April 1st at the House of Blues right here in downtown
Right
Chicago.
down the street on
Not far
State
from
Street.
here, yeah.
Let's go.
If you want some.
All right, well, this is a great story to follow up to that one. Increasing the peace. That is the name and the mission of one local group, and the founder being recognized as a local hero by the Red Cross. We got him right here in our State Street studios on the Stream Team, everybody, on this Tuesday. But first, let's check in with Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah, changing weather conditions as we go into our Wednesday. A few snow showers early into Thursday, showers developing late. Temps in the 50s, going up a bit, cooler along the lakefront by Friday. Spring-like, but a rain and storm threat, potentially severe weather. We'll time it out coming up.
Welcome back. American Red Cross of Greater Chicago has announced its 2023 class of heroes.
So each of them works to build a better community. So guess what?
In our State Street studios, we have the pride of Chicago here, Berto Aguayo, being recognized as the social justice hero. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to you.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're so excited and proud. Now, you are a law student at Northwestern,
Yep.
and also the executive director of Increase the Peace. Tell
Yep.
us about that. And, well, let's start with your backstory. Gang
Yep.
member at 13, and now you're in law school.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
Say so,
And I had a lot of heroes in my life who were able to lead me to this road of transforming my life. A grocery store owner who gave me my first job, a high school principal who got me a job in the civic arena, helped me see a bigger world, and obviously my mom who never gave up on me. And now what we try to do is replicate those opportunities that transform my life and make sure that young people in our communities have those same opportunities, because every time we give them an opportunity, youth always rise up to the challenge.
You hear that sometimes about kids who have struggled. They often have a family figure. You had your mom, but they also sometimes don't. And it's other people in their lives.
Right.
Like it was a shop owner for you
Yeah.
who impacted you. And is that what this organization does now? It's someone who can meet you, who's
Yeah.
15 years old, and then it's like, he's in law school at Northwestern.
At Northwestern.
Right,
Not
it's not
any
just any
law
ordinary
school,
school.
at Northwestern.
But that's so important to success.
Yeah, no, I mean, it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. And that's certainly what we do at our organization. We give out hundreds of job opportunities where young people are paid to make a difference and to learn about community organizing, because we believe that if we invest in our young people, we give them an opportunity. That's the shortest route for somebody to be able to change their life. And the beautiful thing is that we've been doing this work for so many years that now some of our young people that started out in our youth programs are now staff, are now leading their own programs.
They're paid. That's a big one.
And they're paid.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that matters.
But
Yeah.
also a huge component of Increase the Peace is volunteerism.
Yep.
That is a huge mission of yours.
That's
What
right.
is the value in that, and how does that work with these young people who are participating in your program?
Yeah, so ultimately it's really about helping give young people the tools to be able to make social justice happen and make a difference in their community. And in the process, that's a key component of this whole thing, the process in which people find the power not only to change their life, but also to recognize that they have the power to change their community. And that's really what volunteerism is all about, building a collective sense of identity, civic pride. And ultimately, these are all things our young people already have, is just being able to provide the right opportunity at the right time from the right mentors in their neighborhood.
What are the young people who you meet, men and young men and women who see you? Here we are, we're all buttoned up. You know, you look phenomenal in your suit.
Had to dress up for you all.
Right, thank you.
Look at that, Northwestern Law School there.
When they meet you outside of that, when you're just dressed like a normal Hispanic man, do they relate to that? I mean, that's got to be so important for them to make a connection with you because of where you came from.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I share my story, because I think it helps other young people be able to see themselves in that story. But also, just a quick anecdotal story. I remember one time I was giving an interview on 47th Street, right outside of the grocery store where I got my first job. And a young kid, maybe 10 years old, is walking with his mom, and he's like, "Oh, Mom, that's Berto." And she says, "Go show him your grades." So he comes up to me, and he's like, "Look, Berto, I got A's and B's." And I told him, "Oh, you want to be interviewed?" And he got interviewed. I think it was one of the
Yukari interviewed.
We did a feature.
Yeah. And this young 10-year-old boy was interviewed, and I think ultimately that's an anecdote that I share because it exemplifies what I believe is that when you get the spotlight shown on you, it's your responsibility to shine it on other people. And this recognition too is one of those ways in which I want to recognize all the people that were, essential in helping transform my life, but also all the people that do this work every single day in our streets in the city to try to make our neighborhoods a better place. It's ultimately about, recognizing those efforts.
remarkable position here, paying it forward. We have to ask you, we only have maybe like 45 seconds left. We're looking at you. You are a law student at Northwestern. When you graduate, when do you graduate? What do you want to do? When are you running for president?
That's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions.
The future is so bright for you, and the runway is wide open. Wow. What do you want to do? What are your aspirations?
Well, I want to first graduate law school next year.
Next year, okay.
Next year I'll be graduating law school and just trying to find more ways to make my community a better place. Ultimately, I think that's our duty, to leave the places that we gather in better than when we found them. And I think that's what I want to do.
Your star
in political office, Rob.
Well, you never know. Your star is bright, and I hope you can come back when you are a law graduate with great things ahead. It's just an honor to meet somebody like you, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to the Red Cross. Their Heroes Breakfast is going to be May 11th, 7:30 to 10 in the morning. So for those early risers, if folks want to join the other amazing people that are being honored that day.
Great list of honorees. The class of 2023 is extraordinary.
It's great, yeah.
You are so phenomenal. And Rob, don't forget us, okay? Because we know your future
We'll have this
so
interview
bright.
back from the day. Bertha
Congratulations.
Aguayo, thank you. Congratulations. Go to that and then bring your grades and show it to him. And
He might. We can't wait to see how he changes the world.
Already is.
You know, we are in the midst of greatness. A legal eagle here.
Oh, man.
Congrats to you.
We do a lot of complimenting on this.
I'm not good with compliments. I'm like.
I'm so inspired by you. I feel it, that energy. So
good to meet you, man.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Best
Thank you for
blessings
having
to
me.
you. Muy bendiciones.
Oh, gracias.
Yes.
There you go.
So still ahead tonight, new Michael Jordan movies heading to theaters near you, and the stars of Air.
Ooh.
Talk about tell the Nike partnership story. It's ahead. Stay with us. Don't know how to sit. Berto looked perfect.
Right, Bertha
he
was so comfortable.
perfect.
You need to go to his.
And I'm all lanky and awkward. Do I cross my legs? I don't know.
Mama Adriana's gonna call you or
she's-
text you.
Yeah. So this week the movie Air hits theaters.
Yeah, the premiere happened last night in Los Angeles. Ben Affleck stars and directs in this film. He and his wife, Jennifer Lopez, attended the premiere together. Lots of PDA. Air tells the story of Nike pursuing a partnership with Michael Jordan. Viola Davis plays Jordan's mother. And apparently that was Michael Jordan's idea.
Yeah.
Obviously a genius, but he's also his suggestions for casting, which was one name, Viola Davis, was, I mean, it is genius, but it's also obviously you pick the best actor out there. It inspired me to go, okay, well, let me create a role that's worthy of Viola Davis.
Well, Matt Damon is also in the movie along with Chris Messina, Chris Tucker, Jason Bateman, and Marlon Wayans. Yes, look at that. What a great cast there. I cannot wait till this one comes out.
So J-Lo was with him.
Right.
And she acted interested and engaged.
Are you going back to the
Yes,
Grammys?
I'm going back to the Grammys. When all he did, he was kicking and screaming and throwing a fuss.
I see what you're saying.
Sam said like, hey, we have to have this.
Well,
this time around.
I think Rob is saying that she supported his journey.
Yes.
Why couldn't he support
yes.
her journey?
But I bet
okay, but the
you're
movie's about air.
Yeah, sorry, we should get back to that because I'm distracted on Jennifer or Jennifer.
Because he'll start talking about Brussels sprouts in a minute.
Yeah, right.
We'll
it's supposed to be phenomenal.
Right.
I guess you don't see Jordan really at all in the film until the end. And it's the actor obviously playing him because MJ didn't want it to be. I mean, it's obviously about him, but they kind of hold that back. They want to make it about who's playing Michael. Let's see him, and it's supposed to be a really good movie.
Right. He changed the face of branding.
Oh my gosh.
They were not making any money. Phil Knight out of Oregon. Have you ever been to the Nike headquarters?
Not the headquarters.
Ever? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He was in the works of doing a deal with another brand.
Right.
Yes, he was. That's what
Probably
this is
find
about.
out in-
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then his mother was the person who stepped in and told him, let's take his call, because Phil Knight kept calling. He would not take his call. He thought the deal was done, the other, company. And look, everything we wear has that, what's that, the position?
Air? Right.
Michael Jordan getting air?
The Jumpman.
Right,
Jumpman,
right. I mean, it's on everything.
I should have put my kicks on for this segment because
usually
I have
wear
them
my
here.
Jordans, too.
Darn.
I'm not wearing them right now, Greg. I just got these Amazon
Tomorrow we'll all wear our Jordans.
Maybe when the movie comes out.
I got
so.
You got me these socks,
right.
though,
Look
Cheryl,
at those socks,
for
right? And they
Christmas.
say
Thank
the
you.
best dad is here. Or
Right,
something
that's
like
just
that.
You know what the takeaway of that movie, too, is? Listen to your mama.
Right.
Because she always knows what's
and
up.
he still does. Dolores Jordan is one of the smartest, kindest, most generous souls ever. And Michael didn't even start playing basketball till he was in high school.
He got cut from the team early on, too.
So
we could talk about MJ for
so much inspiration. I can't wait. And for Phil Knight, too, for Nike. Just believe in your dreams and keep pressing forward and look, what happened. Wow.
And two Boston boys doing a movie based out of Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
you love this.
Very
I
cool.
know, Cheryl's got her
I hope
East
they
Coast
got the
swing.
flavor.
Right. We got a last look at weather real
They
quick.
did their movie. This is another movie collaboration for them. That
they
they
won
are
Academy,
right.
Good Will Hunting. They won
so
Academy
who knows
Awards. Yeah.
what
Are we
might
on the
happen.
main computer, guys?
We don't know.
There we go.
We are, I think.
Here's a look at that band of snow that's going to move in tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the 30s. This will bring a brief round of some snow. Little accumulation expected, but a few tenths of an inch can't be ruled out. The highest totals, up to a half an inch possible, will be closer to the state line. What it will do is reduce visibility and bring potentially a few slick roads to the area tomorrow morning for the commute, so watch out for that. As we go into our Thursday, showers developing later in the day, highs in the 50s, and then 60s on tap for Friday, but it's going to be a messy day with periods of rain and the potential of a few strong storms. And if you are heading to Wrigley Field for Thursday, home opener, you're going to want a few layers. That's typical in March. We're going to have those temps at first pitch right near 40 degrees. It will feel like it's in the 30s with strong gusty winds out of the east-southeast at about 20-25 miles per hour. Mainly dry skies, but late Thursday after about 4 o'clock, passing shower not out of the question. We'll watch that for the game. I don't think it will impact it, but could be a minor delay. As we head into Friday morning, some scattered showers, isolated storm, and then a better chance of some stronger storms later in the afternoon and evening. Here you can see 9:30, still looking at heavy rain, even a flooding threat here with these rain and storms moving in, but we still have to track the exact track of this area of low pressure. Behind it, rude awakening to the start of the weekend again. Fridays into Saturdays have been so wild. Let's get out of this trend.
I don't like this either.
Right, April
I don't
starts.
like
this weekend,
graphics
Cheryl.
that look
Work on
like
that.
this, but this does put us in
Yeah.
the zone of the threat of severe weather on Friday, which is why we need to be weather aware, and we'll continue to fine tune and tweak the track of that. And that area will shrink as we go get a little bit closer to our Friday, but changes on the way for sure. And finally, by Sunday, we break out of this mess and get temperatures more spring-like. Mostly sunny skies for the second half of our weekend. It will be gorgeous. Rain chances next week with highs near 60.
I see 3 6 days in there.
I know. I want to punch Cheryl's buttons.
Well, I know,
on this.
it's
so
well,
cool.
go
We'll
this
be
way.
right back.
Buttons. You should
right
sit
there.
next to her. They get those. There she
Look at
goes.
that. We'll be right
You gotta
back.
go. Oh boy.
Rewind.
The
Very
anchors
cool.
have. Hey, we're back at 10. It was a
All
good
right.
show.
See you over at ABC7 at 10. Good night. Thanks for joining us.